In this video, we will make an app that generates a set of random numbers according to how many numbers we need. And then we want to show that random numbers in the list view. So first of all, we need to set up the screen. And this time, we will use a layout, a horizontal layout at the top. The width would be the parent, and then we are going to need a text box to key in the number. So we drag the text box here, and then we will need a button. We'll put the buttons beside it. So that is the advantage of using a layout, a horizontal arrangement layout. We can put the items side by side. You change the text to say randomize, and then you notice that there is always the hint for text box. You can also delete it away. Then next, you leave the list view over and put it under the components. Then once you are done, you can program the blocks. You will need a list, so let's create a list. The list will just be called a list of random numbers. So try to give it a meaningful variable name. And then the list will be an empty list at the start. First, we will call out the button. So when button is clicked, do something. And in this app, we are going to learn how to use the for loop, which is a very important skill. So the for loop is under the control option. Then for each number from whatever, this is the one that we need. We just drag it over. And clearly, if you look at the app here, it's going to be some kind of numbers here, right? So if I want 5 random numbers, I'll key 5 here. And then once it's randomized, I want 5 numbers to appear here. And then if I want 3 numbers, I'll type 3 here, and then I click randomize, and then I have 3 random numbers appear here. So this number is very important. So this number would be the number that is appearing in the text box. And I drag this over, and then I take the value which is in the text, and I put it in this place where the word 2 is shown. So if the text box number is 5, for example, right? If this number is 5, then what it means is that this for loop will run the loop from 1 to 5, every time changing the value by 1. Okay? We shall see how this works. We rely on the list function, and then it is the insert list item. We place it here. So the list, the first thing we need to add is that what is that list that we are using, right? The list that we're using is this empty list that we created earlier on. So it's called the list of random numbers, right? This is where we want to write the numbers inside. The index is actually the position. So in this case, this number represents, in this case, will be 1 to 5 if the number was 5. So in its first run, the number will be 1. In the second run, the number will be 2. In the third run, the number will be 3, and so on and so forth, up to 5, then it stops. Okay, so by one click, you are filling 5 numbers into this list. And the item would be one of the numbers, a random numbers from 1 to 100. Once that is done, we can set the list view element to be the list. So where do you want to put it? If you put it here, you put it inside here, the list elements get changed every time the loop is run. So you don't want that. You want to put it outside. So when all the list elements has been filled, then we read it inside the list view. Again, what is this element? This element is simply the list of random numbers. Okay, this appears to be complete, but actually it is not, because when you click the button, the list element will just keep appending. That means it just keeps piling up. So you want the list element, or rather the list of random numbers, to return to empty. So this is what you can do. You can set the random numbers back to the list of random numbers back to an empty list. Okay, this is the complete code that you can use to create a list of random numbers. In this video, we have learned how to use the for loop function, which is very important. So be familiar with how you can use the for loop.